Welcome to the Dell Wamsley Radio Show. Listen and grow as Dell questions the status quo, encourages you to think differently, and empowers you to make a better life. Get ready as Dell challenges core beliefs, seeks the truth, and reveals the roadmap to the lifestyle you really want. And now your host, multi-millionaire, national award-winning investor, CEO and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, Dell Wamsley.
Welcome to the Dell Wamsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Dell Wamsley, and as always, we're working on your financial freedom. Today, my friends, though, we're going a slightly different direction. This is the point in the year where we renegotiate all of our radio contracts all over the country. And what does that mean to you? Well, it means to you that if we don't have enough listenership in any particular city or location, then the radio station might just elect to take us off. So it's very important that we allow them to know that we have participation, that people are listening to what we have. So do you need one person? No. Do you need 10 people? You need hundreds, if not thousands of people listening to you, depending on the marketplace you're in, for them to decide that you're worth keeping. So what I've done today, and I'm going to do it for you here, is I've set up a situation where you can help us prove that we're listened to. And it's going to take some participation from you to help us stay on your radio station in your area. Now, there are areas, obviously, where we have a tremendous number of members who listen to us all the time. And then there are areas that have lots of people who listen to us that aren't members. It doesn't matter whether you're a member or not. It's just that you're listening. So whether you enjoy hearing me talk about life's a quiet desperation, whether you like my long stories about life, whether you like my real estate content, whatever it is that you're interested in hearing, that you like what we have to say, just my life aspects of being an old guy looking backwards. If you like what you hear and you want to continue to hear it, then you're going to need to help us out here. So what I've done to entice you, to motivate you, to help us help you keep the radio station on in your area, is that I put together a tremendous giveaway. So here's the way it works. I'm going to explain it to you in detail. Nothing to be fearful of. This is not a marketing campaign. This is a giveaway. I'm enticing you to take action. Now, if you don't want the giveaway, please just take action anyway and turn down the giveaway. You don't need the giveaway. You don't want the giveaway. That's fine. No one will force you to take the giveaway. But I've broken it down so that you can take it in stages and just help. Or if you want to get something from it, you can get more and more and more with a bunch of different stuff. So here we go. First of all, what's going to happen is there's going to be a website you can go link onto. It's called freedomnumberquiz.com. That's freedomnumberquiz.com. Now, I've had this out there for a while, and what it is, it's a interesting little situation where you can go in, and there's an AI program that we had programmed that will take the information just like you were giving it to me and analyze what it's going to cost you to retire. In other words, all your incomes, which ones are accessible, what you're going to need to be able to replace your earned income and live retired right now. And the number is going to be calculated, and then with that number, we could actually help you figure out how to get there. Looking at what you have, looking at what you want to do, the equation can be calculated. But what this is going to do is just give you the number. Just so you can walk around and know, you know what? I need $12,000 a month to retire. Or you know what? I only need $4,000 a month to retire. Whatever it is. My number when I started was $3,500. That's what I was taking home after my paycheck. I needed to replace $3,500 a month of passive income. And as soon as I did it, I quit my job. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I'd done it for 12 years. Give me that $3,500 a month, and boom, I was gone. Just, wow. To earn the same amount of money and do nothing was a wonderful thing. So that's the first thing you're going to get. Cost you nothing. All you have to do to get that, that's all you have to do, is just go in there and do two things for me. Number one, there'll be a blank to put the city you live in and a blank to put the radio station you listen to us on. So you go there, you put down like Houston, radio station AM 700, AM 740, AM 940. We're on a lot of different stations. Put down the one you listen to us on, whichever city you're in and the station. We need the city and the station to be able to make sense of this thing, because you're going to get the station wrong. Some of you, it's like KTRFH, and some of you are going to go, that's 940, and then you're going to get it wrong because maybe you listen to 700 some of the time and 740 some of the time and 940. But if we know what city you're in and you give us the radio station you listen to, either by the number or by the call letters, we'll be able to pretty much figure it out. Okay? Cost you nothing. No more advertising, no marketing, no follow-up. Nobody's going to come after you for anything. That just helps us out. That's my ask right there. Now, once you do that and fill that in, another page will pop up, and that page will give you two options. Option number one is to receive the best of Dell Wamsley's video clips. I've instructed them to put 5 of my most interesting video clips together to where you will receive them. If you put in your email address so they have some place to send them, they will send you the link to these immediately. You won't have to wait. You'll get these things. No more marketing. It's just you'll get them as a gift. The other thing you can sign up for, if you'd like, is you can sign up for a call from me. To sign up for a call from me, you put your phone number in there and a 4-hour window of the day that would, be available that I could reach you. That would be okay to call you. So in other words, put down like in Houston, we're Central Time. So it'd be like you could call me from 10 to 2 Central Time type of a deal. And then I will call you back. And we'll have a short conversation as to what your number really means for you, your freedom number means, and what you should do to get started working towards that number. If you don't want it, that's fine. This is purely optional. Don't put your phone number in there. You won't get a call back. But the other part, the videos, that's purely optional also. If you don't want the videos, you don't have to take them. If you do, you need to put your email address in there so we can send them to you. Let's see here. What else we got here? This info will decide which ones. Okay, this info is going to help us decide what stays, what goes. It also helps us decide where in the country to have events. We're all over the country. We have members in all 50 states of the union. We actually have events in Hawaii, believe it or not. But we have the events all over the country, and we have to decide where is there enough volume of listeners and members to go there. So this will help us do that, right? So what are you going to get? You're going to get your freedom number, first of all. That's free. Just give us the radio station, the city you're in, and you'll get your freedom number. By the way, if you don't want your freedom number, don't fill out the questionnaire. It's that simple. Hey, I want to tell you where I'm at. Here's my stuff, but don't fill out the questionnaire, and we'll at least get where you're at. If you want the questionnaire, fill out the questionnaire, then we'll give you your freedom number. And then after you give us the freedom number, after you get your freedom number, and by the way, I think on that page you can decide if you want the freedom number or if you want the videos. Now, if you take the freedom number, you'll get the freedom number, my bad. You're going to get the freedom number for free by putting in your radio station. But when you come to the second page, you'll be able to say, I want the best of Dell, or I want a free conversation. By the way, if you check the best of Dell, you can also put in your phone number for a call. So you can get both of those if you want them. Get both, one, or neither, whatever. If you don't want the videos, you just want to talk, put your telephone number in there, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what we're working on. Now, you have to understand, we've been doing this here. I've been doing this now for 35 years. And you talk into ether. You're talking into the air. And you just don't even know if anybody's out there. You're just hoping that you connect. And then you meet people. Hey, I listened to you for 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 years before I took any action. That's sad. I wish y'all took action right away. Either checked me off and said, nah, this is nothing like what I want. I really don't want to retire. No, I really don't want to have passive streams of income. That'd be good if you'd get that out of the way, but it doesn't really matter. This radio show is part entertainment. I call it edutainment. Edutainment means we're educating you while at the same time we entertain you. Otherwise, education is boring, and entertainment is useless. You're wasting your time being entertained, where if you can be entertained and get something out of it at the same time, I feel like you're hitting the best of both worlds. So let's go ahead right now, if we can, take a break. and you go out there to freedomnumberquiz.com. That's freedomnumberquiz.com. Look in this thing and see if it works. And check it out. We'll be right back with the Dell Wamsley Radio Show. Welcome to the Dell Wamsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. I'm your host, Dell Wamsley, and we are back in the second segment. And in the first segment, we talked about the fact that this is the one time of the year that we have to research whether or not anybody's out there actually listening to us, because it's the annual recertification of our program across the whole nation. We need to know if you're listening. Why? Well, because if nobody's listening to the radio show, then the radio show won't be there. That's the way this stuff works. And I've set up a pretty good offer, a giveaway, to get you to participate. Not because I want you to say you want to watch the radio station. That's not the goal. The goal is to find out if you listen to the radio station. And I say watch because now we have a podcast. If you listen to the radio station or watch the podcast and you want it to continue in your area, right? So you can always get this online, by the way. These are recorded. You can watch them on our website. So if your area doesn't have these, you can still get to them. However, if you like this being live on your AM radio, a lot of people really like that. They drive to work with us. They come home with us, whatever. Then you're going to want to help us to do well in the annual counting of the listeners. So here's what I've got. I've got a gift for you. In fact, I've got 3 gifts for you. You go to the same place to get all 3 gifts. And the website is freedomnumberquiz.com. One word, freedomnumberquiz.com. If you can get to that, freedomnumberquiz.com, you will be presented with 2 blanks that you can fill in. One of them is the city you live in, and the second one is the radio station you listen to us on. Now, if you listen to more than one of them, that's fine. Fill it out once, turn around, get off, come back in, fill it out again. Why? Because this is not a marketing tool. We're not going to be sending you email after email after email. This is simply a giveaway. Now, if you want to take the Freedom quiz, you just go ahead and take the quiz. It's a couple questions. Our AI program will figure out what it will take for you to retire. Amazing what AI can do nowadays. In fact, I'm myself going to start learning how to use AI more and more all the time in the future. It's, I think, my next goal for this year is everybody in the world's going to have to know how to use AI. It's like learn how to use your cell phone. I've never really learned how to do all the stuff the cell phone does. I hate myself for it. You know, 6-year-old kid can do more than I can. I think it's time to learn. Whatever. The bottom line is if you want the radio stations to survive, you need to go there and put in the city and the radio station you listen to. Then you will be given this opportunity to fill out the questionnaire, and the AI program will figure out what your freedom number is. My freedom number, like I told you, was $3,500. That's how much I took home. It doesn't matter. You could make $100,000 a year, but what you actually take home is what's important, and that's the amount of passive income you need. I've been doing this for 35 years. First thing I do when I sit down with somebody is go, let's figure out what you need. You're going to have a goal. You need to know where you're going. So let's figure out how much passive income you need to get there. Then we can start talking about the options. Maybe you're good with a couple rent houses. Maybe one small apartment will get you there. Maybe you need more than that, something larger. That's a conversation we can have, but first we need to know your freedom number, right? Then after you fill out the freedom number deal, and by the way, you're given a choice. Do you want to fill out the freedom number deal or not? That's up to you. But if you fill out the freedom number deal, and you get your freedom number, which costs you nothing, by the way, and nobody's going to track you. We don't have an email address on you at that point. You understand? There's nothing that we could come after. We don't know who the data is. We're not keeping the data. That's not important. What we're doing there is giving it to you for your own benefit. It's just something free. Once you get done with that, you're going to come to a page that's going to allow you to have 2 options. One, you can register for the Best of Dell Wamsley video series. And I think it's 5 videos. I told him to go find my most interesting videos that people like the most, that have the highest content referral, and put them on there. So all you have to do is put your email address in, and then you will receive a link to these 5 videos that you can watch. There is no marketing behind this. If you want to join up, you can join up, whatever. You know you can anytime. But this is just a matter of giving you a free gift for going through all this process. I want to give you something so good that you'd be willing to just stop in the middle of your day and put down what radio station you listen to. The second thing I'll offer you is even more important. It is an opportunity to talk to me. Have a personal consultation with me, a short phone call as to where you're at and what you want to do and answer your questions. To do that, you're going to have to give up your phone number and a time of day I can call you. You can put down there my phone, put your phone number in, and then put down like I'm available from like 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Central Time or Eastern Time or Pacific Time, whatever it is, so that we'll know, what and where and how we can call you. And it will be me calling you, that's for sure. So if you put your number in there, you're going to get a call from me, not from somebody else, not from a surrogate, not from an AI, what do they call them, clone or whatever. They have these things nowadays that do it, sound just like you, look just like you, whatever. Avatar, if that's what they're called. But you're not going to get that. You're going to get me. And why? You said, well, Dell, why are you doing so much? I'm just really curious. I want to give you something you can't refuse. It's just so good that you just can't refuse it, because I really want to see what radio stations are being listened to and which ones are not. It's very important to me to see, how wide our reach is out there in the marketplace. Because, we help a lot of people, and we've been doing it for 35 years. We just want to know this year, are we still hitting the people we're hitting? Are we reaching the same areas? It's interesting. One year, demographics completely changed on us. One that blew me away one time was California. I never thought, California being a liberal state that it is, that people would listen to me. And what I found out was I was the number 2 listened to radio station in California for conservatives. I go, get out of here. There's no conservatives in California. I go, are you kidding, Dell? There's tons of conservatives in California, and they're pent up because they can't get to anything else. Everything else is liberal mumbo jumbo. And so you're like a breath of fresh air. And so I was number 2 to Hannity. Can you believe that? Hannity was number 1. I was number 2. This was after Rush Limbaugh, I think, was passed, gone away. But that really blew me away when I found that out. I was number 2 in California. That's a strange deal, man. We're big in Colorado, which is another liberal state. Again, I think when you're up in a very liberal state and a voice of reason comes out over the radio, you're like, man, please don't turn this off. I need to hear somebody and listen to somebody who thinks like I do, that sees the world from my perspective. I get that. I would want to watch. I would want to listen to that also. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to freedomnumberquiz.com. That's freedomnumberquiz.com. And fill it out and let the world know you're a Dell Wamsley listener. We'll be right back with the Dell Wamsley Radio Show. Welcome back to the Dell Wamsley Radio Show. 34 years. No, 35. No, 36. It's 36 years now I've been teaching how to produce passive streams of income, find yourself retirement by replacing your earned income with passive streams of income. And the concept has always been, hey, you pile up enough money, high enough, eventually you can just quit your job and live off that pile of money. The problem is your goal from that point forward for the rest of your life is to try to die before you run out of money, because there's no other way to keep going. My thought was completely opposite of that. My thought was, forget about the pile of money, think about income. Why do you get up and go to work every day? You get up and go to work every day because you need income. Now, what if you didn't need income anymore? What if you could replace the income part of it all? Yeah, you could work on building your wealth. You could go out there and do crazy things to make large amounts of money and get richer and wealthier and whatever. That would all be fun on the side, but you still need to pay those bills. So if you could replace that with passive streams of income, then your life would be free. You'd be free to do whatever you want, go wherever you want, with whomever you want, whenever you want, and have enough money to do it. That's the key. So I've been talking about this now for 36 years. And each year, we come around to this point where the radio stations try to evaluate whether or not someone should stay on the station or not. And so they do tests. And we're going through one of those testing periods right now. And that's why I put out here this enticement for you to register as a listener, in which case this will help us by keeping our shows on the stations you listen to. So to do that, it costs you nothing. All you have to do is go to this website, freedomnumberquiz.com. And the first enticement is a program that you can fill out your personal information and find out what your retirement number will be. So everybody needs a number. You know, is yours 3,000, 3,500 like mine, or is yours 6,000, double that, or 7,000? Or is yours 9,000 or 12,000 or 20,000? You know, what's it going to take for you to replace your earned income and retire? That's step number one. Now, if we get that out of the way, you at least have a starting point. You can start listening to the shows from that point of view. You can start doing research on passive streams of income on the internet. You can do whatever you want, but at least you got a starting point, right? And that's free for just filling out this questionnaire. The questionnaire is going to ask you two things. What city do you live in? And what radio station do you listen to us on? If you listen to us on more than one, then you can fill it out more than once, because this is not a marketing thing. It's not going to come back at you. So, you can go ahead and fill it out. Please don't fill it out twice on the same one just because you're trying to load, stack the deck. It's not really what we want to have happen. Next thing is, after you get your freedom number, we're going to sort of entice you, or that's not the right word for it. We're going to put a cherry on top, sweeten the deal. There we go. That might sound more like what I'm trying to say. We're going to sweeten the deal with two more options that you can pick up, two more free gifts if you want them. Again, only if you want them. We're really here just to find out what the radio station is in the city you're in. But if you want them, I put this on there to make the offer so good you can't pass it up. And this will be the Best of Dell video series. You get, I think, 5 videos. You put your email address in there. We'll send you these links to these 5 videos. And they're like I told them to pick out the 5 most interesting ones that got the highest visitation. So more people liked it than any others type of deal. And so you can go to that one. Some of the stuff has never been released even. It's the best videos within our company. In other words, the outside world's never seen them. Members might have seen them. They might have watched something, but the outside world might not have actually seen them. So I've got a couple of these Best of Dell video series that I've used over the years, and they're always pretty interesting. A lot of people like them. Whenever they get them, they usually really enjoy them. The second thing is, if you really are just sitting there, you go, you know what do I really need to do? Well, now you get your freedom number. I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak to me. What you do is you put your telephone number in there, your name, your telephone number, and a 4-hour window of time I can call you. So put down what time zone you're in and what hours. So like, for instance, I give you the example. I'm available from 12 noon to 4 in the afternoon on Central Time. Okay, put that in there, and then we'll give you a call during that time. Now, I will give you the call. There won't be anybody else. It'll just be myself. And we'll have a short conversation to find out, where you're at. What are you stuck on? What would get you moving forward, if anything? Again, I'm just giving this away, not as a marketing tool. I'm giving this away as a gift to get you to fill the radio questionnaire, because we need this once a year. We got to bang you up for this information just to keep ourselves on the radio. If we don't have listeners, the show goes away. So no matter how much I want to help you, I can't help you if there's no show. So please, if at all you're hearing this anywhere, go to freedomnumberquiz.com. That's freedomnumberquiz.com. And for those of you who don't know how to spell freedom, it's F-R-E-E-D-O-M. Freedom. You all know how to spell number, I assume. N-U-M-B-E-R, and quiz, Q-U-I-Z. I don't know why I just spelled all that out. If you can't figure that out, you probably don't want to hear what I have to say anyway. I don't know. I could never spell. I failed spelling every year. Every single year, I failed spelling. And I'll tell you a funny one. Back when I was in grade school, my teacher failed me, and on an English paper. She marked it all up with red stuff. You know, you didn't have this comma, you didn't have this, you had the wrong word here, you know, where, and where. All those kinds of, you know, basic English things that the average person should learn, which today I know nobody knows. You listen to the kids today, you get them out there on the street and you ask them questions, they don't know anything. But back then, you know, I couldn't do it. I wasn't concentrating on English. I was more of a numbers kind of guy. Whatever my excuse. The bottom line is I didn't do it very well. And so, since then, I've actually tried to learn all that stuff because you seem pretty stupid when you can't write wording correctly. Whatever. This teacher gave me this bad grade. And so when I made my first $1 million, I wrote a letter back to her saying, just wanted to let you know that even though I couldn't spell and my punctuation was incorrect, my grammar was off, I made my first $1 million by 35 years of age. And this letter should be perfect because it's being dictated to my assistant, who was really, really good at all that stuff. And that's why she's now an assistant and not an entrepreneur. Boom. Send it back to the teacher. Probably the meanest thing I've ever done in my life. But I felt like, boy, that was fun. You know what I mean? They pick on you and push you around when you're a little kid, and then boom, back at you, teach. Back at you. You don't have any money. You know, all that grammar didn't do you any good at all when it really came down to success in life. And by the way, all my grammar won't do me any good either if you don't fill out this questionnaire. We need to know who's listening all over the country. Hey, even if you're an obscure little station somewhere listening to it, fill it out. Because it might be, you might be the number. There might need to be X number of people. You might be X minus one that makes it go over that number that allows that station to want to stay in the loop. Because, see, I'm syndicated, and they got to pick you up all over the country. If they don't pick you up, you say, you know, he doesn't pull in our area. You know, he sounds great for this area, you know, blah, blah, blah. But our area doesn't like a guy like that. You know, there are some areas that don't like pontificating blowhards like myself. Other areas love pontificating blowhards. Some people are young stations. They don't want to listen to a guy that's got 20/20 vision looking backwards for 70 years. Other people love to hear 20/20 vision material. Hey, you went through it. I went through it. We've all been through it. Here's what I actually found out. If you look at 100 people, 99 of them did this, one of them did that, and the one won. The 99 lost. Boy, you can see that really clearly when you're 70 years old. When half of your friends are dead, the other half are either broke, poor, barely getting by, and 1 out of 100 is living with you, traveling the world, doing whatever they want to do, having an incredible life. Boy, that's obvious when you get up to my age. And you don't want to wait until you're my age to figure that out. You want to get that figured out much sooner in life than most people do, so you can take action on it. So the starting point here today, the goal today is let's get on the record as listening to this show. Go to freedomnumberquiz.com. That's freedomnumberquiz.com and put in your city and your radio station. Do it now. We need your help. And then we'll be right back with the rest of the radio show. Welcome back to the Dell Wamsley Radio Show. Today we've been going through what we call the sweeps in the radio business, but basically what it is once a year there's an annual counting of who's listening to what stations where. So stations are trying to identify which shows on their station actually draw listeners. And so everybody's trying to get you to listen to their radio show. I'm trying something a little bit different. I'm trying to not only get you to listen, because the people who are listening, but what I'm trying to do is identify. So what I've done is I've set up some free stuff for you, if you're just tuning in, you haven't heard this yet, that you're going to be able to receive if you're willing to at least give us two things. One is the city you live in, and two, the radio station you listen to us on. That's it. That's all it costs you. So what do? You go to freedomnumberquiz.com, freedomnumberquiz.com, and register. your name. I don't know if it takes your name. I don't think it even takes your name. I think it just takes your city and the radio station you listen to. It might ask for your first name or something. I'm not sure. The idea is not a marketing funnel. It's just to give you this opportunity to weigh in that you'd like to see our radio station continue in your area. Then, if you want, you are given the option to take our Freedom Number Quiz, which is an AI program that once you put your personal information in there, figures out what it's going to take for you to retire. What is your number, your passive stream of income number that you can retire? We talk about this all the time. It's not how much money you need to retire. It's how much income you need to retire so that we can work on completing your portfolio to replace your earned income with passive income. All right? So that's the next thing you'll get. Then if you go through that, there'll be another option for you, if you like, that you can get the Best of Dell Wamsley video series. There's 5 videos out there, I think it is, that are probably never seen because they're internal videos. So unless you're a member, and even as a member, you might not have seen them because they've only happened once. And there's really good stuff, and I ask them to put together, the ones that are most interesting that get the most views. And you can get these 5 videos. Now, you will have to give up your email address to get that because we have to send them somewhere, right? So, again, we're not trying to market you. We're just trying to give you a free gift. I really want you just to fill out the questionnaire. This gift is just to entice you. The reason I need an email address, there's nowhere to send it otherwise. You have to have someplace we can send it, right? Then the next thing you can get is, and this one is really over the top. I don't even know how to value this. You can get a free consultation with me. And this is the strongest offer I can make. Hey, my time is the most valuable thing to me on this earth. And to spend any of it with you about your situation is the largest gift I can give you. There's nothing I give you more than inviting you over to my house to have dinner. I mean, that's about the highest of everything there. But other than that, this is the most. So what do you have to do? You have to put in your name and a telephone number and a 4-hour window of time in your time zone. Give me a time zone, give me a 4-hour window of time I can call you, and I personally will call you. It's not going to be a bot. It's not going to be a clone. It's not going to be somebody else, an employee. It's going to be me. And you're going to go, I can't believe you really called. That's what everybody says every time I ever talk to them on the phone, because I respond to everybody that is willing to contact me and work with me in any way, shape, or form in business. Have done that for 35 years. I think it's the integrity necessary for people to believe you're a real person. And the people are surprised. Like, really? It's you? Come on. Can't be you. Is that really you? What's even funnier is when they meet me in public and go, you sound exactly like you sound on the radio. Yeah, and you look exactly like your pictures. Well, what do you think I'm going to look like, man? I mean, I don't look like I looked when I was 35 years old and started Lifestyles, but I sure look like what I looked like the last 10 years, which is old and gray. I think I've been gray since I was 50. I'm 70. So, I don't know. I think I'm grayer. I think there's more of it's gray. Maybe less of it was gray back when I was 50. But gray doesn't seem to stop me from doing anything. And it really shouldn't stop you. You need to figure out now, what is your working number that you can get out? That's what you need. What is your working number to get out of all this? And to do that, you got to go to freedomnumberquiz.com, fill out the questionnaire, and let the AI program figure it out for you. I used to do it personally by hand, but man, it does. I just gave it all the parameters that I looked at, how I figured it out, and boom, it does it for you instantly. So you'll get an instant number back once you fill out the questionnaire, and it's yours. It's free. It's nothing more you have to do. However, if you want more gifts, you can get the video series, 5 video series, best of, if you like. Just fill in your email address so we can send you the link to it. And or if you want me to contact you, put in your telephone number and a 4-hour window of time that I can call you. So there it is. It is time for you to step up and request it. I have people all the time. We had lost a city a while back where the listenership was such that the city decided to take, we're on syndication, so they just pick us up and put it in. And they decided to drop us off. And people say, why aren't you here anymore? I go, because nobody let them know that you were listening. It's weird, They have these things where they used to go out and test people I don't know if they even do it anymore for AM radio, but they used to test to find out, what is the listenership per station at what time of day. They do it for TV still, the ratings, and they're always talking about the ratings on TV. Well, they did it for radio for the longest time. I don't know if they do it anymore, but now they do it at least this once a year. So this is the time. Participate now. Let us know you're out there. Say, hey, we're out here. Keep material coming. We like it. We want to hear it, and so on and so forth. That's what you need to do. Once you got to get up and do something back. We give you 364 days a year. Now you got to get up and give it back to us today. That's what we need. Other than that, just remember this. Once you've got that number, you can call me. And that's really not much more than that. I mean, you contact me and we'll tell you, hey, and you'll be surprised, I'll tell you the truth. Somebody called me up and says, I have no money, no credit, no this, no nothing. And, nobody in my family has anything, and I've never had anything. I can't read, I can't write, I can't see, and I can't walk, and I can't talk. And the answer is going to be, I think, money's the least of your problem. All right, have a great day. Remember, it's not the money, it's the lifestyle, and we'll see you tomorrow. Get out there, freedomnumberquiz.com, freedomnumberquiz.com. Do it today.
Thank you for listening to the Dell Wamsley Radio Show. Want more of Dell's unconventional wisdom? Go to lifestylesunlimited.com and click the radio tab. Listen to past shows, hear podcasts on demand, and find out how you can change your life today. The Dell Wamsley Radio Show is part of the Lifestyles Unlimited Radio Network.
The information and opinions you hear on the Dell Wamsley Radio Show are those of the host, Dell Wamsley, his guests, and his callers, and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of this station, its affiliates, its management, or advertisers. The Dell Wamsley Show is for entertainment purposes only. Please consult a professional regarding your personal investment needs. Nothing presented on the Dell Wamsley Show constitutes an endorsement, recommendation, offer, or solicitation to buy or sell any product or security.